Thank you, Mr. President. I rise for a point of personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you. Sadly, on day 7 of our new presidential administration, the president has unilaterally and fundamentally changed what America stands for at home and around the world. And I think everyone knows what his actions were technically, but I wanted to share some of the human stories that were behind them. A mother of a U.S. soldier was detained for more than 33 hours, handcuffed for some of the time, and denied a wheelchair. An Iranian citizen scheduled to fly to the United States for a postdoctoral fellowship at Harvard Medical School was denied boarding to her connecting flight. She was recruited to join that laboratory after presenting a paper at a scientific conference in New York last spring, and we're competing with other nations for talented young researchers. One woman won't be able to see her 91-year-old mother, who's critically ill in intensive care. The woman, Ms. Abedsim Hussein, has 4 siblings in the United States who are U.S. citizens, as is her mother. She commented to one newspaper that she hopes she'll be able to see her mother while she's still alive. 2 brothers were told their visas had been canceled and that if they didn't sign a particular form, they would be barred from the U.S. for 5 years. Their lawyer fears that they signed a form voluntarily revoking their new permanent residency rights that had previously been approved for the United States, and so on and so on. You know, refugees, existing green card holders, and existing legal permanent residents from Iraq, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen are not being admitted. And there's one thing those countries have in common, and that is that since 9/11, no one has been killed in this country in a terrorist attack by anyone who emigrated from any of those 7 countries. And I want to hope that the countries Saudi Arabia and Egypt that were spared by our new president, that it was not because he has business interests there. Those countries are where the overwhelming majority of the 9/11 hijackers came from. Many Muslim countries had exceptions for Christian minorities in his order, effectively a ban on Muslims from some nations but not on others. And since the September 11 attacks, our country has resettled almost 800,000 refugees, and none of them were admitted with that status have attacked our country. This ban is not winning us friends and certainly not making us safer. The president's policy isn't smart, it isn't right, and I believe not only that it won't make us safer, but it'll do the opposite. It is said that the Departments of Homeland Security, Defense, and State were not consulted. Congress was not consulted. Something is wrong about hostility spewed via Twitter, emboldening those who blame a religion. First, our new president attacked and sought to delegitimize our free press. Then he makes major policy decisions that disrupt the lives of vetted green card holders, vetted international students, and the families of Americans who have valid green cards. We can only hope that the president will hear the voices of the demonstrators that were in 90 airports over the weekend and the thousands out in front of the White House, to hear the voices of the millions of Americans, both immigrant and native born. We can only hope that he'll hear us.